There is an old saying that good judgment comes from bad experience, and good experience comes from bad judgment. That messy, often painful loop is how we learn. We make a mistake, feel the consequences, and adjust our mental models. AI cannot replicate this cycle. Because it processes data, it doesn't actually experience its mistakes. Now that we have tools that can write, code, and predict instantly, it is completely natural to ask a quiet, uncomfortable question. If the machine is doing the thinking, what is left for me? The answer is your judgment. To see how that works in practice, I want you to pull up an AI draft you are currently working on. We are going to run it through a 4-step human-in-the-loop workflow. This structure ensures you are the one steering the process. It uses AI to handle the volume of work, while you retain the responsibility for the final direction. Step 1 requires a shift in how you view your time. Stop spending your energy trying to build foundational drafts from scratch. Your role is shifting from the factory floor of content generation to the editor's chair. We used to spend hours just staring at a blank page, typing and formatting. Now, you can instantly generate the mechanics and spend your time directing and shaping the raw material. When you let autonomous systems handle that heavy lifting, you clear up cognitive bandwidth. You can finally focus on the work that machines cannot do, aligning decisions with ethics and making creative leaps. Look at the draft you brought to the screen. I want you to treat this entirely as raw material. It is not a finished, shippable product. Your professional value is no longer measured by how many words or lines of code you can produce in an hour. Your value is defined by the strategic curation you apply to that data. This diagram maps our complete workflow. Right now, we are moving from generate to judge. This is where we bridge a critical gap. AI tools are built to predict the most statistically probable next step, but they do not understand context. Because these tools generate plausible-sounding outputs instantly, the risk of deploying flawed data is higher than ever. A document can look perfectly correct on paper, while hiding massive logistical flaws. Scan your draft right now. Look specifically for context gaps. Does the machine understand the current mood of your team? Does it know the unwritten cultural rules of your organization? It doesn't. This is where the bad experiences you've survived become your greatest asset. Your hard-earned intuition is exactly what allows you to spot a strategy that seems flawless to an algorithm, but will immediately fail in the real world. The more authoritative and rapid an unverified output appears, the more critical your expert eye becomes to prevent a catastrophic execution. This checklist is what we call the empathy audit. Because an AI lacks biological skin in the game, it cannot sense the tension in a room or feel regret. We have to manually inject those human elements. First, we apply ethical discernment. Review your draft's proposed solution. It might be efficient and highly profitable, but you have to decide if it is actually acceptable to your standards. Next, we check for emotional intelligence. An AI cannot empathize with a stakeholder's unstated anxieties. You need to adjust the tone of the draft to actively build trust and calm concerns. Finally, historical context. You must ensure the output respects the power dynamics and past relationships that simply do not exist in the training data. Take a moment to apply these 3 constraints to the draft in front of you. Type out your edits, translating your human insight directly into the text. By enforcing these boundaries, you transform a rigid, purely statistical recommendation into a nuanced strategy designed for real people. Emotional intelligence and trust are the fluid currencies of leadership. They're your ultimate defense against deploying tone-deaf automation. Looking back at our workflow diagram, we move to the final nodes: refine and decide. Take the empathy-adjusted constraints you just wrote and feed them back into the AI to rapidly polish your draft. This establishes a strict collaborative hierarchy. Autonomous systems can generate an infinite number of options and revisions, but humans make the final decision. Moving forward, apply a simple scaling rule to your work. The higher the real-world impact of a decision, the deeper the required human review must be. Now, look at your newly polished document and give it your final approval. When you clear this draft, you take absolute ownership of its consequences. Because humans are the ones who bear the risk of failure, and humans are the ones who have to meet payroll, retaining ultimate veto power is the only way to safeguard accountability. You have just successfully bypassed hours of tedious mechanical drafting while safely maintaining total control over the quality of your work. Keep in mind, if you plug weak judgment into these powerful tools, you will simply produce bad decisions at a much faster rate. The system fails rapidly without an anchor. The ability to look at a high-speed output and know exactly when to challenge it is what differentiates a strategist from a mere operator. This layer of oversight is what keeps your work unique in an environment flooded with generated content. In an era where raw information is cheap and immediate, the human capacity to own a decision and its consequences is the ultimate premium. Leading with judgment ensures these tools remain a precise extension of your own vision.